She said kinda love affair.
Is love in the air, or is your relationship on the verge of destruction? Let's talk about it. Sit back,
Relax.
and enjoy your favorite cocktail as we discuss relationships, dating,
Sex.
and love. Love on the rocks, that is.
Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Love on the Rocks. It is Roger the Wild Child. Megan running a little bit late, but Crystal and Drew are here today.
Howdy.
Hi.
Howdy. Get that microphone closer to you, Crystal.
There you go.
Okay. All right, guys. Welcome to the show today. We've been off for a couple weeks, but guess what? We are here, and we'll be on for a couple more weeks, and then we go on for another holiday break. Imagine that during the holidays. We take some breaks.
Gonna get some crazy stories to tell when we come back.
I know. We got to do some holiday dating, have some New Year's dating, see who's going to have their first kiss on New Year's Eve. Ooh. Or is anybody going to be lucky? Well, Drew.
Are we gonna place bets? Drew doesn't count
Yeah, he's
because
in a
this is like a
relationship.
sure bet.
I'm
Yeah.
guaranteed a New Year's kiss.
Yeah, because he's he's in he's like the only one that's in this group that's actually
Other than Lydia. Lydia's married, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then but yeah, so that, otherwise everybody else I guess it's got to be the question is who's going to get which single person in this group, in our group, is going to get a New Year's Eve kiss.
Can I make bet? Can I place bets? Ooh, I'll be the
would you bet on?
commissioner. Ooh,
Okay.
I think it's going to be Jesse, and I think it's going to be one of his homeboys.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
I'd place my bets on Meg.
you think it's going to be Meg?
I think it's gonna be Meg.
Yeah. She will. With Rodney.
As long as it's not a drummer. Oh, damn.
Doo-doo. All right, we got a great show tonight, guys. Our topic today is can your love go beyond the changes you endure? Now, we're talking about changes in a relationship. And there was a TikTok video that, that inspired this whole conversation. But, and they said in the video, it said, when you're 23 years old, you're not going to be the same person you're going to be when you're 33. When you're 33, you're not going to be the same person when you're 53. So when you fall in love with somebody, did you fall in love for who they are and grow with them? Or did you fall in love for their image? Because they are hot. Is that what you fell in love with? And then as years get older, they start gaining weight. They have different perspectives of life than you. Life changes throughout the years. Are you growing with them? Or are you growing away from them? So,
Well, it's not also just physical things. A lot of times, you get older, you get married, or you don't, you have kids. Kids change everything. Families become more involved. That's a whole different dynamic. Sickness that could affect a relationship, job loss, job
Right.
changes. There's all sorts of like major relationship stressors out there.
right. Yep.
I mean, everything starts with physical attraction. That's where it starts. It's not going to start unless you're physically attracted because you see them before you hear them. Okay, that's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's true, but that's not always going to last. You are still going to hear them forever.
Absolutely. And the ones that do last are the ones where they're like, hey, not only are they attractive, but they're pretty damn cool.
I think you have to have that friendship first because, well, I'm pretty sure we're all going to agree looks fade. It's not going to be there forever. So they got to have something substantial underneath there.
Hello, Meg.
Hi.
You're looking very purple today. How was your weekend?
It was good. It was.
Oh, where's
it
your
was-
microphone? You're too far away from the mic.
It was one for the books.
Tell us.
Interesting.
Are we
Wait,
live?
wait.
We live? Oh, we are.
We are live.
Of course
We
we're live.
Um. Uh. um. Well, it was one for the books, and it involved a Georgia party, a Georgia loss.
And they got kicked out of the top 4 teams. The only time I'll ever say horns up, baby. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Anyway, it involved
Amazing.
a Georgia loss. It involved a house party. It involved handcuffs, and it involved losing the said key to a handcuff, a set of handcuffs. And Crystal, I hate you.
Roll
It
Tide.
was a really good weekend.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
So, what kind of handcuffs were these?
Police handcuffs.
Oh,
Ones that were stuck on her wrists.
Yeah,
You got
they were
arrested?
police handcuffs.
You got arrested?
Yeah, like official police issued handcuffs.
They
Issued
weren't
by the
fuzzy?
police.
they're not bedroom handcuffs, were
They
they?
weren't pink and fuzzy.
They weren't pink and fuzzy.
They were not pink and fuzzy.
What'd you do? Wait, did I miss a group
Yeah,
chat?
you never even talked
You
to me
missed it.
about this.
Did I miss a group chat message?
I
Uh-huh.
haven't talked.
No.
I've talked to one person. One.
I didn't
Yes.
say anything. I just asked you how your weekend was.
So, Megan's biggest change to her relationship was she got a felony.
You got a
Before you
felony?
got
yours
here-
is a felony. Make
Before
no
you got here,
mistake.
we were taking bets on who would be like of the daters, of the people who are dating, who would be the like sure one to get a kiss at midnight on New Year's. My
Mhm.
bet was on you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I said Jesse,
Somewhere,
one of his
a dog,
to one of
cat,
his
a
friends.
human. I don't know.
Somebody.
Somebody. It's bound to happen.
Is your last name Demeanor?
Bennett.
Oh my
'Cause you're-
god.
Because you're misdemeanor.
That
have
one
no
just
idea what
flew
that means
over her
right now.
head.
Yeah, I just woke up. I'll be completely honest. I've been asleep, and I told myself, I'm like, wake up at 9:30. I got my alarm set. Bobby even like messaged me, called. I was knocked out. And Roger called me at 9:55 and woke me up, and I was like, oh my god, just woke up. I'm coming.
Well,
So I
we got a
strained
great
a little.
topic we're going to talk about tonight, and we have a guest here. And let's go ahead and bring her on. She is an author. She's a mindset and transformation coach. Please welcome to the show, Miss Chloe Panta. Chloe, how you doing? Welcome to Roger. Welcome to Love on the Rocks.
I am good. How are you guys?
We are
I'm
awesome.
Nice
Megan.
to have you here.
Nice
Living the
to
dream.
see you.
So let's talk about you for a second before we dive into this topic. You are currently an author
Yes.
and a mindset and transformation coach. So what does that mean? Transformation coach.
So, transformational coach, what that means is that I help my clients to get transformational results, to help them to change from where they are right now to where they want to be in life, whether that's in love and whether that's in their career or just overall transformation. That's what that means. And then mindset expert, it means that the transformation is done because there are changes in the mindset. So if you
Right.
are who you are today, you're not going to be who you want to be tomorrow if that person
Right.
is drastically different than who you are today. So it
Mhm.
recalls some changes. It requires you to up level in some sort of way. And that's what that means. And I have a book that comes out in March of 2024. And it's all about that. It's called Untapped Magic. And I'm a debut author. So that is the
Nice.
author.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's
Congrats.
awesome.
Thank
Congrats.
you. Thank you so much.
So you were listening to our conversation in the beginning here. We were talking about, the people that are changing. And obviously you said the same exact thing as I was saying in the beginning, that, who you are today will not be who you are 10 years from now, or even 30 years from now, or even next year. You may have a life-changing event that may change who you are. So when you're with that special person in your life, okay, how do people cope, or what's your suggestion on how to cope through the changes with your partner?
First, you have to know who your partner is. That should be number one. You have to know who they are. And that comes down to your core values and your core beliefs. So if you're picking someone, it should be because they have all the essences, all the core values that you're looking for. And if they're missing any of those core values or those essences and they happen to change down the road, it's because that's who they've always been. And you either missed the mark as of understanding what you really want in a person, and their true colors are coming out, or something has happened in their life or your life, and they're showing you the signs of who they are when they cope or how they don't cope when a situation arises. So when you're picking somebody, you have to make sure that it's not just about the looks. It's not just about
Right.
they're 6'3" or whatever. It's because they have all of the qualities physically, but also they have the mental qualities too. Like they take good care of you, they make you feel special, they're loyal, they're kind, they're there for you when you're in a situation or whatever. If they don't
You
have
got to
that,
look outside the box when you're with somebody in a relationship,
yes,
because people will. I mean, especially when you're younger, you're just gonna look at that person and be like, "Oh my God, she's a bombshell," or whatever. Or he, girls are like same thing. Oh, he's a hunk. But but the thing is that person capable to meet your mental standards?
they
I
can be.
mean,
But if you're not looking for those standards because you don't know what they are yet, then they're not going to show up. That
right,
person can have all the physical qualities because that's what you want. That's what you're looking for. You're
right.
attracted to that. But you haven't said, oh, yeah, but wait, by the way, I also want you to be X, Y, and Z. So if they only have the physical and that's what you're attracted to, you're going to overlook the other qualities. And then when they show up down the line, when it's something that you don't want, you're like, well, they look really good. I'm going to stick with them because I like how they look and we can work through this. So that's something you have to look out for if you don't really know what essences that you're actually calling in. If you're calling in just physical essences, but not qualities that the person has on the inside, you're not getting the complete package. You're just kind of getting what's on top, but you're not getting what's underneath that entire package.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when I talk to people about relationships and they always say, I fell in love with this person. I'm like, no, did you fall in love or did you fall in infatuation? And it's like, and people don't understand the difference between the two. And sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. It's like, no, I fell in love with this person. I'm like, you just met this person a week ago. You didn't fall in love with this person. You are infatuated with them. Okay.
Infatuated.
Did you ever know one of those people that's like in love, like every other month with somebody new? They're always like in love.
Absolutely. It's because we see somebody and they're one step better than the person before the last person. And they're like, oh, this person is so much better. I'm going to be with this person. And then that person does something and you guys break up. And then you're looking for the next person because you want to heal. You want to be able to be with someone who's a step above, but they're still lacking what you seek in a relationship with all the
Right.
qualities. So you're kind of
Right.
stuck looping scenarios of the same types of people over and over again that really don't have any core essences. They just have something that's a step above from the last person, but it's still not meeting the mark as of what you really want, what you're really trying to call in as a total package. You haven't met that
Right.
person.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
So relationships as a whole, you find that person and you look for them. And obviously you look at them and like, oh my God, this person looks great. Whatever, I'm physically attracted. What do you suggest the best way to try to figure out where you can be able to try to find that emotional connection to see if that person's going to be your person?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And a lot of people have trouble with trying to figure that out. So I'll tell you what I tell my clients and what I tell other people to do when they're like, oh my God, he's just so perfect. How can I say no when he has all the physical, some of the qualities I want, but not everything? If you had a list of your perfect person, everything that you want, qualities, physical, mental, emotional, and if that person doesn't meet 90% or even 85% of those qualities that, let's say, are no brainers to you, like they're non-negotiable, if they
Mhm.
don't meet that list, they're not what you're trying to call in. And if
Mhm.
you allow that person into your life, you're telling the person waiting for you that has everything you want. You're like, oh no, I don't really want this person. I'd rather have this one because they're here right now. If
Right.
you really want something and you know that you're worthy and deserving of having it, it's going to come. But if you're like, oh, I can settle for this, this is okay to me, you're basically telling yourself, I don't really deserve to have the best of the best.
I'm not worthy enough to have the love of my
What I
life.
really want. Exactly. You're going
Mhm.
to settle for something that's less than what you want. And that's what's going to show up in your life because you're attracting that in your life, because you're telling yourself subconsciously, I don't deserve to have more than this. And that is why the lesser folks are going to keep coming up in your life.
Okay. We got a comment here on Twitch. They have a question for Chloe. Can an emotional connection be made through food by cooking for your partner? Does she believe in the saying, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach?
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe he's going to love you if you can cook or not. I mean, if he's
Yeah.
your person, if you can cook or not, he's going to be there for you no matter what. It
I've
doesn't,
never
you don't have
dated a
to
girl that can
bribe
cook.
him to cook food for him. He should be cooking you food. But no, I don't believe in that at all.
Okay.
So
Alright.
while we're talking about emotional connections, when I was doing some of my research for this topic, I kind of have to try to guess which way the conversation is going to go and try to find, different sets of data on all those different possible avenues. One of the ones that I went down was, well, what makes a strong connection? And that emotional connection
Mhm.
is super, super important. That's one of the most important ways that they can connect, that couples can connect, or that makes that bond stronger. Um, Unfortunately, there are also bonds that are traumatic,
Mm-hmm.
but a strong emotional bond is super important. That is one of the top important things of a
Oh,
strong relationship.
absolutely. I think
Yeah.
you have to have an emotional bond. Like, absolutely.
I mean, my thing is, like I was saying earlier, like looks are gonna fade. So there better be something underneath the surface
Right.
there.
Yes. If you take the
Like,
layers off, what's really, it's like that Scooby Doo. Take the mask off. Who's really behind that mask, you know?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and like at a certain point, like the magic, even if you are like with somebody that's super hot, like eventually the magic of that is going to go away and your blinders are going to come off and you're going to start to notice like all these little things that you may not really like, that you're blinded to because you're just focused on how good they look, So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it's super important to go beyond that surface level.
I think you can have both. I think you can have the surface level and you can still like have that attraction out your life with that person and the emotional connections based upon how you feel about that person. That person may have aged over time into someone else that may not be attractive, but to you, they're still the man or woman that you fell in love with maybe 10, 20, 30, whatever years ago. It's based upon your perception. And I think that if we just focus on what we want in a person versus what society tells us to want or how we should look based upon society's measurements and measure our own success and what we want from somebody else, we can have that. But we have to first put into perception, what do we really want? If we take away everything and just kind of strip down our own list as to what we really want, we can really have that. But it's based upon, again, our own beliefs, our own limiting beliefs as to what we can call in and what we're worthy of having. I think we're worthy of having both throughout our entire lifetime. That's just my own. Yeah.
But now we've
Okay.
talked about like looks fading as a possible stressor in relationship, but there are other things like, you know,
Health
changes in
issues.
jobs, health issues. And one of the most interesting statistics that I found, and it's kind of like, it's a little off-putting, and it's probably the most jarring of all of the things that I came across, but just so you guys know, a woman is 6 times more likely to be separated or divorced soon after a diagnosis of cancer or multiple sclerosis, more than a man. If the relationship, according to this study, there is a huge gender disparity in partner abandonment. So as a woman,
you're saying, as
Yeah.
a woman will be there and stand by her man. The man
As
will
opposed
jump
to a
ship
man.
and bail.
I know why. I know
Why,
why.
Drew? Why?
Why?
Because the woman has more to inherit.
No,
no.
no,
Actually, because most men can't take care of themselves.
that's not
That
how
was
that
a
works.
joke. That was a joke. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Okay.
that was a bad
I'm like,
joke.
well, no. According to the study.
Not really how that works, Drew.
But so this study, which actually, so you know, like I thoroughly vet all the stuff that I look at, and this is from, you know, the Stanford University School of Medicine, Seattle Cancer Care Alliance, and the Huntsman Cancer Institute at the University of Utah School of Medicine. So I'm not making this up, I swear to God, but the most jarring piece of evidence. So if you're a woman and you become terminally ill, you are 6 times more likely to get divorced or to, you know, for your partner to divorce you than if it were the other way around. So the women tend to stick by their men. The men tend to jump ship as soon as stuff gets hard. Now, as far as the reasoning, why they jump ship,
Yeah.
so with this particular study, what they looked at wasn't necessarily the reason why, but like pretty much just like the end result. And then they had a range of reasons, but found that most of the time that women were better at weathering the storm and balancing all the responsibilities and taking on that extra responsibility of a sick partner than men were. So there was that.
I kind of knew that. Guys are always first to jump ship, I feel like. In my,
Also,
Are they?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
which-
know the stats are saying that, but do you?
No, but they are. Like when a health diagnosis or something of sort comes about, like, yeah, they're super quick.
Maybe men just don't go and bitch to whoever's taking these stats. I mean, that's
Yeah, I woke up.
well, they were included in the study because, well, you know, it looked at
Literally
couples. So, but it did also say the longer the marriage, the more likely it were to remain stable. Like, so the longer the marriage at the time of diagnosis, the
Mhm.
more likely you were to stay
So
together.
somebody who's been together for 30 years compared to somebody who's been together for 5 years. 5
Right.
years are more, you know, they're more apt to jumping ship than
Well,
somebody.
you see, the weird thing about that number 5. So another stat, not related to this study, but a different one altogether, or a couple actually, is that usually around year 5 is when most married couples start experiencing some issues. Now, that actually feeds into what we refer to as the 7-year itch. What they have found is that the 7-year itch really starts at year 5, and it takes people about 2 years to figure out whether or not they want to stay or jump ship.
So
Right.
Chloe, your thoughts on this?
Again, it comes down to the foundation. If you've built the foundation, if it's solid, that shouldn't be a problem. But if the foundation is shaky at the beginning and things have not been thought through or talked about, or issues are happening and they're unresolved, yeah, that can happen. That's not uncommon. I mean, what is it, 50% divorce rate in the US? So
Is that what it is now?
I think so, 46
Yeah.
50%. So with those types of stats, that's because, again, your foundation isn't solid in the beginning. You have to know your person. You have to know yourself, not lie to yourself about what you want, what you don't want. If you have that all taken care of in the beginning, you can, of course, have a long and happy marriage. But if you don't know the foundation that you're standing on, if you are on unstable ground, it can be difficult as time goes on to weather the storm. So that can happen. It's
Do you
definitely.
think that more people now are staying with each other for the wrong reasons, or finding the wrong reasons to be with somebody?
I don't think so. I think now, I think especially since COVID has happened, people are starting to do more of what they want to do. They're more focused on their well-being, their wellness, more about how to get themselves grounded and also to take care of themselves, what matters most to them. I don't think people are staying together just because they think that they have to. I think that they're with someone because they want to be with that person, either to make it work or because they want to,
Mm-hmm.
or they're letting things go because they know their worth now and they know that they can do better or that they're ready for the next step with somebody else. That's where I'm seeing a lot of trends happening right now in relationships and also marriages, where people are knowing what they're wanting and they're not afraid to express that. And if someone isn't willing to meet them halfway, or they're not on the same page as them, they're moving. They're just jumping ship and they're like, okay, no worries. They're cutting ties and they're looking for their perfect ideal partner. That's what I'm seeing. But I don't think people are going to stay with someone out of comfort. Most people, at least millennials, they're moving towards the direction of it's about what I want and I'm going to find what I want. I know it's out there for me.
Okay. So, Drew, your
Drew
thoughts on
cat.
all this?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The cat's being an asshole. I have been paying attention. Yeah, I think that it definitely does come down to the foundation, but I think it's a lot more simple than we're making it. I think it's really just how easy is this person to hang out with outside of sex? Like, can you guys
compatibility?
Can you guys just sit on the couch and watch a movie and just be completely entertained by that, just with their presence? Can I sit on the phone with them, not saying a goddamn word, but just knowing that they're there?
Well, Drew,
Can I do that?
well, that's all fine and dandy. I mean, I've sat on the couch and hung out with guys that I was dating, had a good old time. But when I think about it, would I want to raise children with them? Absolutely not.
So what is your criteria for raising children with them?
So, well, actually, research supports everything.
Research?
that
Not
I'm
research.
saying.
No. I'm talking about you.
You.
Because you have a child,
Yeah.
and I want to know what criteria did that guy have to have a child, and why is he not here?
So the criteria when it was taken into consideration is a whole different story. But yeah, about that. If I think about it now, here's the other thing. So this isn't just research, this is a fact. The human brain does not fully develop, it is not finished until you are about 25. So a lot of people are, Drew, you just barely finished.
I got a month, baby. In 1 month, I'm developed. All right. Let me text Giselle. I'll be able to let you know if this is going to work out in a month.
So the human brain does not finish developing until about 25, which, interesting fact, that's why you can't rent a car until you're 25, because that's when your insurance rates go down, because you make better decisions after the age of 25 because your frontal lobe is now fully developed.
On you, they still won't let me rent a car when I'm 25.
Well, Drew, you're a different story. But a lot of people get married much younger than 25. So when you look at statistics, you also have to look at the age range that they are looking at for that particular study. Because if you look at the people who get married under the age of 25, as opposed to the people who get married over the age of 25, what they're looking for in a partner changes, what they want changes, or what they consider important changes. And yeah. So congratulations on your finally fully developed brain, Drew.
Good job.
I still haven't found mine.
This is my peak. Are you telling me this is where I peak?
You're at your mental peak right now.
It doesn't get better.
Doesn't get any better than this.
So if you killed all your brain cells up to now, they're not going to come back.
Speaking of killing brain cells, I'll be right back.
And on that note,
Stupid.
Maybe
so,
true.
so Chloe, let's talk a little bit more about your. Obviously, this is your first book that you got coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what inspired you to write this book, and where did a lot of your research for this book come about?
Yeah. So, as a life coach, I speak with a lot of people, and a lot of people, they don't really know what they want. They know that they want to live a really good life, they want to be happy, they want to have the perfect person, whatever, but they don't know how to get there. And this book, it empowers people from all walks of life to understand on a really simple, easy level, to understand how you can really attract what you want, but also knowing that what you really want is possible for you. So that's something that a lot of people have an issue with, where they think that, well, I'll never be a director in my company, or it'll take me too long to become X, Y, and Z, or I can't really have that kind of person. They wouldn't look at a person like me. And all of
And
these
that's where the mindset kicks in.
yeah, exactly. So the book, it teaches you how to rewire or how to change the way that you're thinking so that what you really want becomes possible for you. And I really wanted people to understand how simple it is to get to that point. A lot of books, they'll tell you just think positive thoughts or just be happy. And then, yeah, it'll come to you. But it's way deeper than just thinking about stuff. So I wrote a book that gives you really easy steps to take in order to get that kind of life and know that what you want, it wants you to. It's just waiting for you to realize that what you want, it is possible for you to have. So I wrote a proposal. I landed an agent. My agent was able to find me a publisher, and I have a book that's coming out. But I wanted to get this message into the world because I thought that a lot of people, they need to know that you really can live a happy life. And I think that the more of us that are happier, the world becomes a better place because we're all getting what we want. So I wanted to make that possible for people, and that's what inspired me to write the book. So I'm really excited about it. I did my research on neuroscience to understand exactly how the mind works, but to symbolize the terms into really easy, digestible, bite-sized stories so that people from any walk of life can understand how to apply these methods and to change their lives. So that's where most of my research comes from, my own personal background, my personal experiences, those of my clients, those of my friends. So the book is based upon real life stories from me, clients, friends, and the research that I've done through the course of up until this point in my life that has helped me to help people to transform their lives. So that's kind of where I started and how it's going.
And this
So
is the book right here, right?
yes, it is. This is my book. It's available for pre-order, but yeah, it'll be out in March of next year, and it's a guide to help you to create the world that you want to live in.
Mhm.
And where will we be able to find it?
So you can find it anywhere books are sold, but you can pre-order it on Amazon, Barnes and
Okay.
Nobles, Target, anywhere. It's
Okay.
available.
And it's called Untrapped Magic Manifestation Methods for Living a Limitless Life. It's by Chloe Panta. She is our guest today on Love on the Rox. If you guys have a comment, go ahead and post a comment. If you want to give us a call, you can give us a call on the Love Line at 845-442-LOVE. That's 845-442-5683. Okay. So, Chloe, let's talk about you and your relationships in the past.
Mhm.
Okay. How have you evolved as a person with relationship? Are you in a relationship right now?
Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
married now to my dream partner. We've been married for 6 years. We've been together for 8. And I've come a long way. I've been in terrible relationships, terrible, where I
You
was,
too?
yeah, long time ago, long,
Me
long time
three.
ago, but terrible people who did terrible things to me. And because of those experiences, I knew at an early age what I no longer would tolerate and what I no longer wanted. And
Mhm.
because of that, it propelled me to know that the opposite is out there, but I had to believe it was possible for me to have. And then once I believed that, that's when I was able to manifest my husband, and he came into my life. Literally, I met him at an airport, out of all places. It was
Really?
just, yeah, it was crazy. I was at an airport. I was actually on my way to
This
Houston.
is something you would see on a Hallmark show.
What airport were you at?
I was in Detroit at the time, but I went to Houston. Oh wait, no, it was Dallas Airport.
Ah,
Dallas.
gross. Fuck Dallas.
I know.
You met a guy in
No.
Detroit on the way to Dallas. That's the
Well,
biggest red flag for a relationship I've ever fucking heard.
not in the Lifetime movie.
I'm glad it worked out.
Settle down over there, Iowa.
I left Iowa.
Clearly. You're
No.
very Texas opinionated.
I got taught two things when I moved to Houston, Texas. The first one being is we fucking hate California, and the second one being is we fucking hate Dallas. And being from Iowa, fuck blue. You know.
That's crazy.
Oh, Drew.
Oh, leave it to Drew. He's always got something to say.
I
That's
know.
why they have me here. That's why. I'm
Did your
here.
uncle tell you that?
No, dude, we should have a segment called Scott Himes' Advice of the Week.
No, no,
I
we are not advising.
I just endured Thanksgiving with that man.
Do you see the meme where it's like an SNL skit? And she's like, "Obviously, we are not telling you to do this," and he's like, "No, go live." That was this conversation.
The Ed Helms.
Yeah.
You do what you want.
That
Live.
no, you cannot do this.
You do what you like.
No, that's really awesome that you and your husband were able to evolve. What challenges have you guys had over the years?
We really haven't had any challenges, and I can honestly say that. And I say that because we were very open and honest in the beginning. The foundation is very solid.
And I think that's important because before you continue, this is what I find out. I talk to people, and even my own dating experiences. I always say, you know what? In the past, I will admit, I was involved with people because of the more of a physical attraction, not an emotional or connection. But people are now realizing that I forget where I'm going with this. I just totally lost my train of thought. But as we're evolving, people are sometimes are with each other for like the wrong reason.
Mm-hmm.
So totally lost my thought on this one, but it was good. It was good. But if it does come back, I'll make sure.
Sounds
Go
like
ahead and finish
lot
your
of relationships involve Stockholm syndrome.
So trauma bonding.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I was getting at.
It
Now
hurts so good.
You got to find the foundation of the person that you need to build that friendship as a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And before you find physicalness as a foundation, and you build friendship. You can't build friendship on a physical bond. You got to build a friendship and develop that physical bond, because that's where relationships are going to last a lot longer.
If you fist bump after sex, you can.
Well,
A fist bump after sex is great. Be like, high
At a
five.
kid. Yeah, hell yeah, that was dope.
So, Roger, that reminds me.
Okay.
Before we get lost in that train of thought. So, actually, research does support everything that our guest is telling us, that foundation is super important, just like what you're saying, that, hey, you got to make sure that, there's a little bit more to looks. But it also reminds me of a story that my pastor told one day at church. I don't remember the whole entire thing, but the bottom line, the summary was, you want to build your house on the rock, not in the sand. So you want to find that person who's willing to build on the rock with you. while a lot of people are willing to go run around in the sand like it's all fine and dandy, it's, you know, a little bit more difficult to find that person. But if you want that relationship that's going to last and that's going to weather the storm, that's what it was about. It was about weathering the storm. Imagine that. That, you know, you got to find somebody who's willing to build on the rock with you. And as I'm getting older, I'm finding, you know, I don't just want somebody that looks good. I want somebody who is intelligent, can carry on a good conversation, but will also push me to be better, like to be a better person. And I'm finding that a lot of people are willing to invest in a relationship just so long until they get something out of it. They're not necessarily trying to build. So finding
Right.
that person that, you know, you have those clear expectations from the beginning, from the get-go, is super, super important.
Yeah. I would also say probably you want someone who's going to compromise for you. They're willing to compromise and they're willing to say, okay, hey, I don't really want to do this, but because it's for you, I'm going to do it for you. You want someone who's going to be able to bend over backwards to do things for you, to show how much they care and they love you. So if someone's willing to compromise for you and also you for them, that's another key benefit, that that person really does love you for who you are, when they can compromise and do something that may not be their cup of tea, but because it's for you, they're going to go ahead and do that for you. So that's another strength of having something.
It's a give and take on both relationships, though. You know, you both need to go and cross each other's line, you know, for the other person. It's not one-sided, you know. So for me and her, you know, whoever she is out there in the world, I want to be able to cross over and be able to, you know, tend to her and what she needs. I want her to come across my line and help me with what I need as well.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, working together in a relationship. It's not one-sided. So it's a give and take on both sides.
Absolutely.
But it's also understanding that not every day is going to be 50-50. Some days it's going to be 60-40 and other days it's going to be 70-30.
But it's not 100-0 is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is knowing that sometimes the issue has nothing to do with you. A lot of times we think that if our person is sad or, you know, they're not in a good mood, that it's something that we've done to hurt them, or, you know, oh, what's wrong? What did I do? What did I say? And it has nothing to do with you. And I think if we sometimes stop taking things so personally and let them heal and go through whatever they're going through, that can let us know that, hey, we all have our ups and downs. But once we can allow and give them grace and give them the space they need to heal, and to put themselves together and know it has nothing to do with us and be okay with that, I think that would solve a lot of issues, because sometimes we get so stuck in our heads that we think it's always about us, and it isn't. It's also about our partner. And we have to give them that grace and that space to heal when they need that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
I'm
like,
a
to what
fixer.
end?
No, I'm a fixer. I'm not going to let you just sit there and be sad. We're going to figure this shit out.
I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but like at a certain point, if somebody doesn't want it fixed,
well, then they can
like,
compromise and let me fix it. Boom.
That's true.
You know, it's kind of like the whole concept of, like, you know, when you're with your person and, you know, and going to bed and not having it settled.
Can't do it.
Oh, that's a different story.
Yeah.
We're talking about they have a bad day at work, or, you know, there's something else that's bothering them. We never want to go to bed angry or unresolved. We want to resolve that before we go to bed. We're not going to let this linger to the next day. That doesn't exist in our world.
I can't stand it when people do that, when they sit there and go, I'm going to bed. And you're like,
no, you're not.
Really? Seriously? Did you just go to sleep on me and not get this resolved?
That doesn't happen. It gets resolved.
I might be better after a nap.
No, 10 minutes and it's going to be resolved. Maybe an hour.
I'm watching a fucking movie then. I'm watching whatever movie I want.
I can't go to bed angry. I refuse.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I mean, it's not something I'd like to do, but at a certain point, like, I think about sometimes, like, man, I wish I would have just like waited and cooled off before I even started that conversation. Like, maybe I should have just slept on it and been a little bit nicer.
But what about timeouts though? You don't go to bed, unresolved, but
No, you can take a
take
time
a
out.
timeout. You go to the kitchen and he goes, sits down in the recliner and throws
Why
the
is she?
game
Why
on.
is she going to the kitchen, Roger?
Okay, he could go into the kitchen and she
Yeah,
can sit
yeah.
down and watch the baseball game. It doesn't matter. But
Sound
whatever.
real
I
misogynistic.
just
over
sound
there.
like I am better able to resolve conflicts if I am not hungry, not tired, I'm not overwhelmed. Like,
Amen.
but I did okay. So in a previous relationship of mine, like, so I know these things about myself, right? Like, and I know that sometimes if things are like heating up and not in a good way, like I need to take a step back and like just reassess. But the other person just wouldn't stop, like, and would just go and go and go, like, no, we're doing this now. I'm like, you don't understand, I can't do this now. Like, I'm gonna word vomit some mean stuff that I don't necessarily mean, and there was no give and take on that one.
Yeah.
It was just their way or the highway, and eventually it ended up being the highway
I will.
because our conflict resolution just wasn't that great. So I think knowing how your person likes to
argue.
resolve conflict and how they like to argue is super important because it's gonna happen. All those couples are like, we don't argue. You're lying.
You're gonna argue at some
Have
point.
the communication, or you're not going to agree with everything. That's always going to happen.
You have
But
to agree to disagree.
it determines on your response if it's going to be a fighting match or if you're going to talk about it calmly like two adults. It depends on how you like to resolve things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have an argument or something, it gets like a really heated conversation, take some time out. And I think you just have to ask your person, like, hey, I don't like conflict. I don't like yelling. I don't like arguing. I don't respond in that way. If you're going to yell at me, I'm going to shut down. I'm going to go away. I'm going to let you calm down, then we can come back and talk. So you have to figure out their language or how they respond to conflict. You don't have to meet them on their level, whatever level that is of conflict. But once you understand what they need in order to calm down, then you can just come back and talk and rationalize what's happening and then resolve whatever's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, I found like my best relationships on all different levels, friendships, work, coworkers. The best ones are ones where you can safely disagree and where you know that when you have that disagreement that you can resolve it without, hating each other next week.
Mhm.
Like it may take a day or two, but you'll get through it.
Right. Yeah.
So it's how you resolve conflict.
It's just a healthy way of doing things. Know that you guys are not going to be on the same page on every situation and belief or whatever, which is okay. But at least you can have a conversation to express each other's opinions or views and
I
sides.
also think it would be kind of unhealthy if you agreed on absolutely everything.
Exactly.
And how boring.
Life would be boring.
It really would be.
Like I need a good argument every once in a while.
Not an argument, a debate.
A disagreement.
A healthy argument.
Like, I don't know.
The peanut butter should be on this shelf. No, I think it should be up here.
Yeah.
Not that kind of argument, but
Yeah, who bought the peanut butter?
Yeah.
It goes where the fuck they put it. Okay, that's
well, who put it away?
Yeah.
they put it where the person
Who
who
had
bought
it last?
My peanut butter goes where I want my peanut butter to go.
Who's making the sandwiches, Drew? Me or you?
Oh, I'm making the sandwiches. You can't do it as good as me.
Oh, hey, there you go. There you go.
How does Giselle make your sandwiches?
She says, "Drew, are you hungry for a sandwich?" And I say, "Yes." And then I go make a sandwich.
Oh, she don't make it.
I like it. I like it.
Making a sandwich is like a hand job.
What?
You can't do it better than me. So don't even try.
True.
Chloe Panta, she is the author of a book. She's also a mindset and transformation coach. I apologize for Drew.
I don't.
Remember the other week when I was like, I'm so proud of you, Drew? Do you remember?
This is true.
You need me. You guys can have your adult conversation. I'll be here for comedic effect.
The grown-ups are talking, Drew.
Yes. So, Chloe, your book comes out in March. You can pre-order. Once again, where can they pre-order at?
You can pre-order anywhere books are sold, but it's on Amazon. You can go to their website, Target, Barnes and Nobles. That's where it's available, and you'll get it in March. And if you pre-order, I also have a free mini course that I'm providing to those that pre-order that will help you to know how to overcome limiting beliefs and low thought words. And that way you can actually attract your ideal partner and your ideal life. And that is for free when you pre-order the book.
Sweet.
Awesome. So,
And where can we find you on socials?
yeah, exactly.
You can find me on Instagram. My handle is at Chloe Ponta.
At Chloe Ponta. Okay.
Perfect. Alrighty. And you talk about finding your ideal partner. Should you be very strict on finding that partner, or should you have a little more of a open mind, a little more relaxed mindset while you're trying to find that perfect person for you?
I think it's whatever you want. There are no rules. That's the thing. You can have the freedom to say, you know what? I don't know what they're going to look like. I know that I want them to be, let's say, this tall, or I want them to have about this build. I want them to have this kind of hair or no hair or whatever. But maybe you don't have a face. Maybe you don't have an ideal of their physique 100%, but you're like, I know when I see them, I'll know that it's them because I know that I'll have this spark or this attraction to them. But you know the qualities that you want them to have. I want them to be kind to me, my friends, my family. In an argument or disagreement, they'll react a certain way. That way we won't have any conflict, or I won't have a traumatic experience, or whatever you're looking for. I think it's more important to write down the essences and the qualities, and the looks will come. They'll evolve as time goes on. But you don't have to be super strict. You can just have like a vague list of, they can look like this or whatever, but really they have to have the must-haves are they have to have X, Y, and Z. So that's what you really should focus on, is the core essences that are going to build that foundation for what you want to have in a partner. That's
right. Like, so if you're a parent, you're a mother of 3 kids, and you're with some guy that maybe doesn't know how to raise kids, so you're not going to find that chemistry, that long-term happiness, because he's never had kids before. But if you find a guy that maybe has a child or two, and it's like, all right, hey, these kids are the same age, this is going to be kind of fun, kind of doing things. You're finding commonality, and you're finding something that you both can relate to a little bit. So I see that.
Or someone who doesn't have kids and they're open to the idea of, I would love to have a family.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there that have like a lot of little siblings, and they have taken over a parent role in their life, and they're pretty fucking good with kids without having kids. Or maybe there's someone who can't have kids, and you're their perfect match because you already have them. Yeah.
Or there's that parent out there that's looking for somebody to take care of their kids for them. There's a lot of those out there.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of those out there.
Yes.
Fuck that.
I know one personally. They exist.
They do. Okay, Chloe, I appreciate you joining us and being a part of the episode with us. And it's been fun. Been fun having you here.
It was nice. Thank you guys for having me. Have a good night.
Thank you for being here.
All right. Thank you, Chloe. You have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Interesting topic to talk about, people do change. And
He's got a lot to say.
Do it.
The cat had a lot to say.
Oh, the cat did, yes.
I had a lot to say.
Obi, how do you feel today?
Meow. Kibbles and bits. Kibbles and bits.
Meow, 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 meow.
So people do change. People change throughout the years, and you yourself is going to change throughout the years. So you can't sit there and look at somebody and be like, oh my God, 10 years from now, they're going to look like this, because you know what? You're probably going to look like that too.
God, when I think about what I wanted in a partner 10 years ago as to what I want in a partner now, completely different.
What are the two largest differences?
Yeah.
So beyond just the basics, looks aren't as high on my list as they used to be when I was younger because, well, that doesn't always last. But actually, like somebody who pushes me to be a better person, that is on the list now. Whereas before it wasn't. Before I was like, I just want them to be hot and successful. Now I'm like, okay, I want you to have your own stuff, but I also want you to make me a better person and like push me to be better. But also somebody who has a growth mindset.
For sure.
Yeah, that makes sense too. Because
Which
there's
is 10
brains
years ago,
behind
I was like, growth what? Huh?
because beauty is only temporary. It can be.
My
For some
ass
people.
is. Yeah.
Huh?
Have you
some people.
seen Brad Pitt's 60? I want you to remember that. Like Brad Pitt is 60
Brad
fucking years
Pitt's not
old.
even cute.
Yes, he fucking is. Who the fuck?
No, he's not.
Yeah, I'm sure Rodney looks so much better.
Brad Pitt's not cute.
Yes, he
He
is.
certainly used to be. I mean, did something
he is.
happen?
No, he is still. He's still fucking. Tom
He's
Cruise
not.
still hot. Fucking
Tom Cruise is.
Yeah, and he's
Hearing
fucking
Drew
60.
talk about guys that are hot.
I like it.
all day.
Tom Cruise, I noticed one thing about him, and now I just can't anymore.
Let me guess, it's the
What,
tooth.
his
It's the
nose?
tooth.
The
It's
tooth.
the tooth. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Because you
his
saw a
tooth.
fucking meme about his tooth. It doesn't matter. He's still risky business, baby. I don't give a shit. He's
still
Maverick,
Maverick.
motherfucker. Yeah, he's
Yep.
Maverick. No.
He's still Maverick.
How I judge a dude's attractiveness is like, would I rather look like him than me? Yeah, 100%. I'd rather look like Brad Pitt. I'd rather look like Tom Cruise. I'd rather look like Aaron Taylor Johnson in Bullet Train.
But you don't want to look like you.
I'm okay. I'm like, there's a lot of people I don't want to look like. So like I'm on the tier, but there's like people above me.
Like,
for
you don't want to
sure.
look like Gary Busey.
Yeah, fuck that.
You know?
I'm happy
Well,
with
you
my
want to look like
Jim
Brad Pitt.
Carrey. I'm
Yeah.
happy with my Jim Carrey looks, but if I could be Tom Cruise or like Christian Bale in American Psycho, 100%.
Christian Bale is
Okay,
Batman.
but like, if you could
No,
look like that, like, how would it
American
benefit you?
is-
Like, do you think
Okay. Why do you put on makeup, Crystal? Why do you put on
Yeah.
makeup? Is it for
because
us?
I'm
or
an
is it for you?
artist?
Is
It's
it for you?
me.
It's for her
Exactly.
confidence. Yeah, it's for her
For
confidence.
me.
I don't give a fuck about anyone else's opinion. I want to look good for me because I have a mirror that faces my shower and I want to like what I see.
There you go.
There you go.
It's all
Yeah.
about self-confidence here.
That's right. And goddamn
Yeah,
it, if
I
I
have
look
none
like
at the moment.
Christian Bale in American Psycho,
I've still never seen that.
Neither have I.
Neither have I.
are you fucking kidding? None of you?
I mean,
No, I'm
I've
not
seen-
fucking kidding you.
I've
Sorry,
seen the
Drew.
pictures of him from that movie because everybody talks about it, but I've never actually seen the movie.
Yeah, I never have either.
You guys like my hat?
I can't even read that.
It's mirrored, but it says future DILF.
Oh my god.
Oh God.
I love you, Drew. I love you.
Baby Drew.
Love you too.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys all next week. Brand new episode of Love on the Rocks. I do want to thank our guest, Chloe Panta. Also, relationship influencers. We got Crystal, Drew, and of course, late, but she's here. My amazing co-host, Megan Bennett.
She is less late than 3 other people.
Sure.
Agreed.
And I'm here.
She gets
They
a
have-
pass.
They have 15 seconds to join so they can officially be late and not absent.
Right?
Look at Drew taking attendance.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be the irresponsible one. What the fuck?
This is
All right.
true.
Yeah.
Your brain just finished developing.
I read every single message I was sent in our group chat at 8:30.
I was sleeping.
She was
can
until I
tell.
called her and woke her ass up.
Waking up.
So,
I'm
all right, guys, we'll see you all next week. Thank you for watching and listening, and make sure you share our podcast. And we'll see you all next week.
See you next week.